Right then, so I was recently asked by a viewer to save some money. Well, I don't see how it can be saving money because two-stroke coil is only, well, it's cheap anyway. You can buy like a litre of it for about £3 if you want to buy cheap stuff, or if you buy expensive stuff you can pay about £10 for good stuff. Anyway, to save money, can you use cooking oil instead of two-stroke oil, you know, in your engine? Now we know that you can use cooking oil to run a diesel because it'll combust the same as diesel. But will it work mixing it with a bit of petrol and sticking it in, you know, in your engine? So I don't know is the answer to that. So I decided to conduct an experiment. Well, he asked me, he said, you know, can you find out? So I thought, well, let's find out. Now this is just vegetable oil, but it's cooking oil, isn't it, eh? I could have used sunflower oil or olive oil, but we use a bit of vegetable oil because it's all I could find, and I don't use it. It's been sitting in the cupboard for about 10 million years, so I thought better get rid of it. So I'm going to risk. I can't see it doing any damage. The only thing I can see it might do is block up the carb. It might be a bit thicker than two-stroke oil, maybe. I don't know. So it might block up the carb. So, but I'm going to risk it, man. I'm going to risk it for you lot. This is the Titan head strimmer that I've actually never used in all the time I've owned it, and the tank is completely empty because it's been so long it's all evaporated. So I'm gonna mix it up in this black petrol can here. So we're gonna put a bit in. I'm only gonna use a bit because, well, I don't want it to be too thick. That'll be enough. Now, I really don't know if this is going to work, to tell you the truth. I mean, in theory, it should work, because it will combust. But having said that, the diesel engine, you know, near enough, you can run pretty much anything in a diesel engine. I mean, you can run it on pure engine oil, as many of you will know. You know? You can run it on pure engine oil. A diesel will run on pure engine oil. But see, two-stroke oil is specially formulated to, you know, to be mixed with petrol and burn, you know, dissolve in a way. It doesn't really dissolve. I suppose it does dissolve. But let's mix all this up in now. I really don't know if it's going to work. So this is an experiment that we are conducting together. And I've got a funny feeling it's going to result in me having to take the carb apart and clean it out. But we'll find out. Well, it looks like petrol. There's no gloop coming out the bottom, so it must have mixed up. It must have mixed. There's no gloopy stuff coming out the bottom. So, should we find out if it works? Start. Bit of primage. It's going through alright. Turn it on, and let's see. Fired. Well, it is working, isn't it, eh? So I don't really know what's going to happen if you keep using it like that. So, it works. It starts, it revs. You know, there's the usual two-stroke smoke. It kind of... It does smell... It smells... Yeah, it kind of does smell like chips. It smells like a deep fat fryer, like a chip shop. A little bit. But on those initial tests, I really, you know... I can't really say whether it's going to be bad or good. But it does work. And it runs, and it revs, and it seems to be alright, so... Who knows? But it does work. So, I guess... It's going to take some more extensive sort of tests to see whether the engine will last, whether it will lubricate. To tell you the truth, I don't think it will lubricate all the crank and the piston and everything. I don't think it will lubricate it as it should, because two-stroke oil is specially, well, it's designed to be burnt in an engine and designed to lubricate all the bearings and everything necessary inside the engine. Cooking oil is just designed to be, you know, cooked with. You know, if you put it in a diesel engine, it's not lubricating the engine, is it? All it's doing is just going through the injectors and being burnt off. It's not lubricating anything. So I don't think it's a good idea to put it in anything that you care about, like a dirt bike or anything that you don't want to damage, because I don't think it will lubricate all the bearings as it should do. Having said that, if you've got one and you want to do an experiment and you want to see how long the engine will last running it on cooking oil instead of two-stroke oil, go for it, man. And if you do, please link me to your video, because I'd be very interested to watch it. Having said that, if I can find myself a two-stroke engine that I don't mind blowing up, I'm going to do the experiment myself. But at the moment, everything I don't want to blow up, so I'm not going to run it long term. I think I might use this tank of fuel up though when I cut the hedge tomorrow and see what happens. And if I may video that, but we'll see what happens. So the first answer is yes, you can use it. Long term answer, I don't know. I've just cut a bit of the hedge. You can see some of the trimmings over there. It's running all right. Still on the same fuel. I haven't emptied it. I haven't done anything with it yet. Still the same fuel. Still got the cooking oil in it. There's some of the hedge. I've just only cut a little bit. See whether it's any good. It's fully warmed up now. It's running alright. So the verdict is, it might work, it might not work. So there you go. It worked for, I was cutting that edge, I was longing it out on 4 revs. I was longing it out, it took about 10 minutes to cut that little bit with the cooking oil in there, and it seems to be running alright. So use that as you will, and yeah. If you find that, if you do it yourself or you have done it, let me know. Put your experiences in the comments, and you know, we'll share our experiences together. Sweet.